It didn't begin with a rumor. It didn't start with a blurry screenshot, an anonymous tip, or a cryptic blog post. It began with confirmation. Aaron Pierre was officially confirmed as a father. And just like that, the tone of the internet shifted. What had once been whispers in comment sections and subtle speculation in fan forums suddenly solidified into fact. The guessing stopped. The headlines started. Congratulations poured in. Shock rippled across timelines. But what truly sent waves through social media wasn't just the news itself. It was the timing. Because this confirmation didn't arrive during a season of public celebration. It didn't drop alongside romantic red carpet photos or anniversary tributes. It came after the split. After the silence. After he and Teyana Taylor had already gone their separate ways. And just when people thought they understood the narrative, Teyana spoke. To understand why the reaction was so intense, you have to rewind. For weeks, maybe even months, fans had noticed subtle shifts. In the digital age, followers become detectives. A missing photo here. A softer tone in captions there. A quiet unfollow. Fewer public appearances together. A change in interview energy. It doesn't take much for the internet to start connecting dots, especially when it comes to high-profile relationships. Teyana and Aaron weren't appearing together as often. Social media interactions slowed. Public sightings became rare. At first, it was brushed off as busy schedules. Careers demand time. Privacy is normal. But then the speculation began building momentum. Were they still together? Had something happened behind the scenes? No one had answers. But that didn't stop the questions. Then came the baby rumors. At first, it was subtle chatter buried in threads and niche forums. A timeline analyzed. A vague comment amplified. A fan account hinting that something significant had happened quietly. Nothing confirmed. Nothing concrete. But speculation spreads faster than truth in modern celebrity culture. Once the idea was planted, it grew roots. Every post became evidence. Every public appearance became a clue. Was there a hidden announcement waiting? A private celebration happening out of view? The silence from both sides only intensified curiosity. In celebrity culture, silence can be louder than any statement. When the confirmation finally came that Aaron Pierre was indeed a father, the internet paused just for a second. Then it erupted. Supporters celebrated new life. Fatherhood, after all, is a milestone. Many emphasized that becoming a parent is a blessing regardless of circumstances. But others couldn't ignore the context. By the time the news was public, the split between him and Teyana had already been acknowledged. And that's where things became complicated. Because now the reaction wasn't just about fatherhood. It was about timing, about overlap, about narrative. People began revisiting every unanswered question from the weeks prior. Was the split connected to this? Was it coincidental? Had the relationship already ended privately long before the news surfaced? Social media doesn't wait for clarity, creates its own. Threads multiplied. TikTok creators mapped out speculative timelines. Comment sections turned into debate forums. Body language analysts emerged. Interview clips were replayed and dissected. It became less about confirmed facts and more about interpretation. And in the middle of it all was Teyana, quiet. Until she wasn't. When Teyana Taylor finally spoke after the split, the tone of the entire conversation shifted. People braced for drama. The internet expected emotional outbursts, subtle shade, or thinly veiled accusations. Instead, what they got was composure. Her message wasn't explosive. It wasn't messy. It wasn't bitter. It was reflective, controlled, intentional. She spoke about growth, about peace, about evolution, about choosing forward movement. She didn't dive into timelines. She didn't confirm or deny every rumor swirling around. She didn't provide the spectacle many were waiting for. She reframed the narrative. Rather than positioning herself as blindsided or wronged, she emphasized dignity, strength, personal progression. And that choice, to maintain grace instead of fueling chaos, shifted public perception in a way few expected. Because the internet thrives on emotional extremes. It feeds on outrage and confrontation. But Teyana's response offered something different: maturity. And maturity can be disarming. Some praised her strength. Others wondered if there was more beneath the surface. Was there subtle meaning hidden in her phrasing? Did certain words carry layered implications? Social media thrives on reading between lines that may not even exist. Still, one consensus emerged. She handled it with grace. Meanwhile, Aaron faced a different kind of spotlight. Fatherhood brings celebration, but it also brings scrutiny, especially when announced during a relationship transition. Public milestones rarely exist in isolation. They are contextualized, compared, evaluated. And timing in celebrity culture is everything. If the confirmation had come months before the split, perhaps the reaction would have been simpler. If the split had come long after, the two narratives might have felt separate. But because the headlines were so close together, they fused in public memory. Once two stories merge online, they are nearly impossible to untangle. What made this situation so captivating wasn't scandal. There were no public arguments, no messy live streams, no explosive exposés. Just confirmation, a breakup, a composed statement. The ambiguity became the headline. Without overt chaos to focus on, people focused on possibilities. Was the separation amicable? Had fatherhood been known privately long before it became public? Were events unfolding behind closed doors in ways that didn't match the online timeline? The truth is, life rarely unfolds in neat sequences. Relationships can dissolve quietly long before announcements are made. Major milestones can overlap in ways that feel uncomfortable but not necessarily dramatic. But public audiences crave clarity. They want cause and effect. They want story arcs that make sense. Reality is often more layered. As conversations expanded, some observers began discussing double standards. Fatherhood announcements are typically celebrated unconditionally. Women in similar situations often face harsher scrutiny. Others pointed out how celebrity men and women are judged differently when relationships end around major life events. The discussion grew beyond just Aaron and Teyana. It became about privacy, about fame, about how public figures are expected to provide emotional transparency on demand. Celebrity relationships often become public property, not because the individuals invite it, but because visibility turns personal milestones into content. Their joy becomes entertainment. Their struggles become headlines. And when something shifts, the audience feels entitled to explanations. But not every story offers one. Teyana's emphasis on independence and personal evolution added emotional depth to the situation. Her tone suggested strength without hostility, forward motion without spectacle. It signaled that whatever emotions existed privately would remain private. That restraint was powerful. Aaron stepping into fatherhood marks a significant life chapter. Beyond the noise of timelines and speculation, becoming a parent is transformative. Babies don't trend. They grow. Life continues long after hashtags fade. Yet the internet doesn't move in straight lines anymore. It pulses. It resurfaces. A new interview clip can reignite debate. A public appearance can spark fresh theories. Stories linger because perception lingers. And perception shapes legacy. What remains most striking about this moment isn't scandal. It's composure. Two public figures navigating personal transitions under a magnified lens. One stepping into fatherhood publicly, the other choosing grace over spectacle. The internet chose speculation. Reality likely sits somewhere quieter than the headlines suggest. This chapter marks transition. It shows how quickly private milestones become public discourse. Fame doesn't shield, it magnifies. Every silence is interpreted. Every statement is analyzed. Every timeline is questioned. But beneath the commentary are two individuals experiencing real life in real time. The headlines will eventually fade.